That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't, we
quick
can't, we
question?
can't ask Rashad questions.
Clown right there. February Madness. I wanted to get into this before I got into the other thing. I know it's out of order on the title and stuff, but man, this I'm gonna let y'all know right now. This is about to be the worst bracket that I've ever done on camera. When it's time, Selection Sunday is in a couple weeks, March 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, because next weekend is March 8th. I'll be da 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 da, and then the weekend after that, that's Selection Sunday and the end of the conference tournaments and everything like that for everybody else. So, I've done the brackets on camera and posted on YouTube every year since 2021, but this year is definitely going to be my worst one. I have no idea what's going on, bro. And that's not even like some years I'm like, oh, I haven't watched enough games. I feel like I've watched a fair amount of games this season to know kind of what's going on with each team and stuff like that. It's definitely been more than in years past where I'm just like, oh, I've been so busy. But still, with that being said, and following the games from afar too on the nights that I don't watch them, as I'm watching somebody else, it's like, what's going on tonight? LSU lost to Alabama in overtime by 3 points. And it's like you would think LSU had a chance to like at least go Sweet 16. You know, they could peak in the Final Four, making a run to the Final Four if they get hot at the right time. Notre Dame just lost back-to-back games. They were the number one last week. They lose to NC State, and then they just lost tonight to who did they lose to? Who did Notre Dame lose to tonight? Let me see. Give me a second. So Notre Dame lost again tonight to Florida State. Taniyah Latson had I think 23 points and 7 rebounds. She didn't have a crazy game, this season. A lot of times like Taniyah Latson's just had like 40-point games. She had the double pump game winner at the buzzer in Chapel Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like she does like incredible stuff. She's led the nation in scoring for like the past 2-3 seasons. People don't really talk about it because she's on Florida State and things of that sort. But it's just like, bro, what is going on? I don't know. UCLA is like a team that like looked like they were that clear head and shoulders favorite. And now they look like, you know what I'm saying? They just kind of look mortal as well. Everybody looks mortal. UConn is dominated the Big East once again. Like they won the regular season title over there, conference title as they should. But it's just like, can you trust UConn after they lost to who did UConn lose? They lost a couple times this season. So it's just like, I don't know, bro. Like LSU, they lost to South Carolina. You get that, right? Then they lose to Texas. You're like, okay, I kind of get that. And then they lose tonight to Alabama, and you're like, oh, what? I don't know. I don't know. And they also had like a bunch of close calls against teams that I didn't really think were on our level early on in the season. And that made me a little nervous. But then they started playing the big teams and they were beating the big teams. I think Washington was kind of like their first test, like Washington State in the Bahamas over Thanksgiving break, and they blew them out the water. Well, they didn't blow them out the water, but it was like a 15-point win, double-digit win, things of that sort. I'm like, okay, LSU's got it. No, bro. LSU, I'm not confident in LSU. I'm not confident in Texas. I'm not confident in Notre Dame for sure. UConn is a bit iffy. USC, it's up to that supporting cast, and sometimes the supporting cast wants to show up. Kiki Irefin and Van Hoffen, and you know what I'm saying, all the rookies and stuff like that, freshmen and everything like that, the top 15 freshmen in the country coming out of high school last year. All those players, like sometimes Heckle will give you something, sometimes Kennedy Smith will give you some. And other times it'll just be the juju show, just like how it was last year. And you're like, oh my goodness, like I don't know. It just seems too undependable with USC, but not only USC, but everybody else. Notre Dame, Texas, LSU, UConn, South Carolina. I don't know. I literally do not know. Those 5 teams are like 5 of the top teams and stuff like that, but none of it is like sometimes NC State looks like, oh, is this the year NC State doesn't? And it's, Other times they just look like the NC State that's just kind of like always around, but not good enough to be part of the elites. I don't know, bro. Iowa might do something. Iowa beat USC. But then it's like other times it looks like a team without in a post Caitlin Clark era trying to figure it out with the leftovers from the Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. But what I do know is that this will probably be my worst bracket that I've done on camera since I've done brackets and stuff. So that's February Madness. How's Harvard doing? Because Harvard's been my sleeper team all season. Shout out to Hermione Turner as well as always. Shout out Rock T. Shout out Ricky Smiley. They play tomorrow against Princeton. Let me see if I can see their record and stuff. They are. Hold on, I'm gonna share the screen with y'all. They are 20-3. I think they're gonna beat somebody, bro. Yeah, they beat Indiana earlier this season. Where did their two losses come to? Princeton. They lost to Princeton by 2. And then they lost to Columbia by 9. So they lost both games by single digits. And they got their lick back against Columbia. At the same time, while they lost both their games in single digits, they like beat Brown barely by 3 points. What did Hermione have in this game? I'm about to share this. Hold on. She had 23 and 39 minutes. She went 8 for 17, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. She's tough, bro. 3 steals. She has to do that every night too. Like there is no nights off for her. Like she has to do that. They have 3 games left in the season, in the regular season. Yeah, they'll probably win the Ivy League. I got them win the Ivy League. I think they're gonna make a run. But anyways, that's besides the point. Okay, that's Harvard. And yeah, so now some good news. I actually had this pulled up, speaking of Harvard, last night, but I forgot it. And I did a bunch of like negative stuff. And I was like, oh dang, I wish I would have got into this. I wish I would have remembered it, but I just forgot it. Hold on. Drum roll, please. Multi-talented New Jersey student, high school student, earns a perfect SAT, and he's going to Harvard, man. Salute to him, bro. Salute to this young man, this young king.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.